Metaverse. Well, what is the metaverse?
What is the metaverse?
The metaverse.
The metaverse.
The metaverse is metaverse.
The metaverse.
Metaverse.
What is this latest buzz around the word metaverse? आखिर ये चीज है क्या? Let's understand this new concept of metaverse bit by bit in this video. It all started on 28 October 21 when Facebook changed their name to Meta. Now this rebranding itself is quite significant as it marks the official transformation of Facebook from a social media company to a metaverse company. So this event is likely to go down as a very important one in the history of social media marketing. Let's see what Mark Zuckerberg has described metaverse as.
The next platform and medium will be even more immersive, an embodied internet where you're in the experience, not just looking at it. And we call this the metaverse. We believe the metaverse will be the successor to the mobile internet.
Mark Zuckerberg is not just betting on metaverse's future, but is also positive and excited that Indians will be at the core of the action. Hi, I'm Lisa Fernandez from Research and Ranking, and today I am going to take you on a ride to Metaverse, explaining its concept, prospects, and most importantly, how to see it from an investment point of view. So let me see how would my avatar look in the Metaverse. Wow, that's my avatar and it's quite nice. So do watch the video till the end as there are many more interesting and important insights throughout. And I'm sure you wouldn't want to miss that. Imagine I wake up one morning and I gaze out of the window. What do I see? Plain concrete boring buildings. But what if these buildings, they fade away and are replaced by open green fields? Or maybe I feel like going for a walk, but not in any normal park. I feel like walking on the moon. Now does it all this sound like a fantasy, a dream? Well, this is soon going to become a reality with the advent of metaverse being touted as the next biggest disruption. And if you're still unable to process this, then let me show you a glimpse of the 2018 sci-fi film Ready Player One.
This is the Oasis. It's a place where the limits of reality are your own imagination.
So let me throw a bomb here by telling you that metaverse is not a new word. In fact, it goes back 30 years ago and it was first coined in Snow Crash, a science fiction novel which was published in 1992 and it was authored by Neil Stephenson. Now he imagined a virtual world where humans as avatars, they are interacting with each other, complete with digital buildings, digital economy, everything digitalized. And in the novel, the main protagonist, he is a pizza delivery boy in the real life, but a warrior prince in the virtual world. So on similar ground, a person can just unleash their alter ego and can be anything. I mean, simply anything on the metaverse. Now, isn't that amazing? Iteration of this novel was also brought to dramatic life in movies such as Matrix and Avatar. Now, coming back to the word metaverse, I know it sounds like a complicated technical word, but let's break the word into two parts, meta and verse. Now meta means beyond and verse is derived from the universe. Bring them together, we get beyond the universe. मतलब इस दुनिया के परे जो actually metaverse है. To truly understand metaverse, let me take you back to the past from where it all started from. I'm sure many of us are not aware of this, but yes, this was the first social media ancestor, which was the bulletin board system developed in the late 1970s. Individuals could log in and use it to communicate or even download games. World Wide Web was created, which allowed people to connect to the internet through a web browser. This brought on the advent of Yahoo and Google. Remember Yahoo Messenger, which was the most used service at that time? Then in the early 2000s came the Web 2, which brought on user-generated content in the form of Blogger, Flickr, MySpace. However, all these services, including Yahoo Messenger, they succumbed to competition over the years. Then late 2000s, with the introduction of smartphones, social media companies, they introduced mobile apps. Now, today, we largely interact and engage with one another through apps that are downloaded to our smartphones, like WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, Zoom. But now, for how long are we just going to post photos, comments, and status? Don't you want more than that? And did you observe that with every decade, it brings along a dramatic change in technology to make things more interactive? So, with the Web3 enters Metaverse, which is the next evolution for social networking. Oh, I forgot to wish you all a happy new year. So, how was your new year? I'm sure many of us were forced to have house parties owing to COVID curbs. And with the technology that we have today, at the most we would just have Zoom parties. Do you really enjoy watching a grid of faces as an alternate to real parties? But what if I tell you that you could have enjoyed a safe New Year's Eve like we used to do before the pandemic, with a few hundreds or maybe thousands of people in a club? And no, I'm not kidding. People actually enjoyed in the metaverse, and one of the parties was also hosted by Paris Hilton. How to gain access to the metaverse? So the metaverse will be a parallel digital universe in which we can teleport with glasses or a virtual reality headset. And it is expected that this digital universe will be many times bigger than the actual universe. In order to bring metaverse to the real world, Meta has also developed a reskin, which is like a bodysuit with digital sensors and also haptic gloves that will help you feel and deliver a simulated sensation of touch to the objects in the metaverse. But it's not like anyone can be touched on the metaverse without their free will, as users will be given access to safety tools to keep themselves safe. For example, a safety feature called Safe Zone is built into the Horizon worlds. It is a protective bubble where once the tool is activated, no one can touch them, talk to them, or interact in any way until they signal that they would like the safe zone lifted. We could have our own digital twin in the virtual world and also use several digital avatars to represent ourselves as a more serious avatar for work, a laid back and cartoonish one for hanging out with friends, and a fantastical one like a robot while playing games. So, how will the metaverse work? Now, this simple question has no simple answer as it is still in a developing stage. For now, we can say that it is a convergence of physical, augmented reality and virtual reality in a shared online space. And it is still unclear to say as to what shape will metaverse finally take with all the technology complexities involved. As if, after all, even the virtual reality and augmented reality are in their early stages of development. Currently, the virtual reality that we know is mostly used for games like Fortnite, Epic Games, but the virtual world in metaverse could be used for practically anything, for work, for play, concerts, cinema trips, or just hanging out with friends. Or you may just sit on the roller coaster in Disney World. Yes, Disney is also planning to enter the metaverse. Very recently, a US-based couple, they held a live online wedding on the metaverse alongside their real wedding. And India is also embracing the virtual reality concept. As a couple from Tamil Nadu, they plan to hold a metaverse wedding which will be presided over by the avatar of the bride's late father. Now that's quite something. So we can say that the metaverse in the future will be to today's virtual reality what a modern smartphone is to the first clunky phone of the 1980s. So what will I be able to do in the metaverse? Here comes the most exciting part of what I'll be able to do in the metaverse. So brace yourselves as I'm going to take you to the magical world of metaverse. Gaming in the metaverse. Now the early metaverse experience has already been found in gaming, and there are already some well-established games such as Second Life, World of Warcraft. In the gaming metaverse, one would feel that they are right there together in the different world, and not just on your computer. One could even play the red light, green light like in the very popular Netflix movie Squid Game with friends. But don't worry, no one would actually die in the metaverse like shown in the movie. Work in the metaverse. Instead of watching a grid of faces in virtual work meetings, one could meet in a physical representation of the office, wearing your digital workwear avatar. And why get bored in a boardroom? You could meet anywhere in the world. There has been quite a few developments on this ground. Like on 11 December, Meta opened its Horizon World's virtual reality platform to the public in North America. It's a VR app where people can meet in a virtual workroom. And even Bill Gates, they strongly stated that virtual meetings would predictably move to the metaverse within 2 to 3 years. Concerts in the metaverse. We could attend concerts without actually having to be present at the physical location. On November 19, the famous American pop star Justin Bieber, he held a 30-minute Meta concert on the virtual music platform Wave. Ariana Grande and Travis Scott, they performed live in a metaverse concert through the popular online video game Fortnite. And why should India be left behind? Gumball's company organized India's first metaverse concert with Sparsh Dangwal. Education in the metaverse. I'm sure most of us have fallen asleep at least once in the physical class, but learning in the metaverse would be real fun. What could be better for a physical class on stars than being able to visualize and interact with a 3D model of a star or planet? One could even study the Harappa and Mohenjo-daro by actually visiting the place itself. A student could even travel through a human body to understand the complex digital digestive process. One could even learn driving on the metaverse. The list is actually endless. Shopping in the metaverse. So in the future of metaverse, while standing in the living room, you could visually sort through options. For example, furniture. You could virtually place it in your room, walk around them and look at them from various angles. Shopping for clothes. Your virtual model will walk in front of you before you make the decision to buy. House. You can spend the day in digital house before buying it. Brands like Nike, Gucci, Adidas, Coca-Cola, to name a few, are all getting into the metaverse. So how will the metaverse evolve? Well, today things are much different than it was 10 years ago. First of all, COVID pandemic has accelerated the pace with increase in remote experience. Secondly, the technology has advanced since the past few decades, which is important to support the metaverse. Third, and most importantly, big tech companies like Meta, Microsoft, they have already started building the foundation for the metaverse. So now the question is, will the metaverse be dominated by a single company? Now currently there are few metaverses such as Decentraland, which is owned by Facebook, Sandbox, Axie Infinity. India has also developed its first gamified virtual metaverse called Loka. The platform offers 3D versions like Connaught Palace in Delhi, Marine Drive in Mumbai, and MG Road in Bangalore. Now there is considerable work being done to create a unified metaverse connecting all these individual virtual spaces. So there won't be people in the Facebook metaverse and other people in the Microsoft metaverse. Hence, no single company will dominate the metaverse. Jobs in the metaverse. As per the global data, there are around 270 active jobs related to metaverse, and they are going to increase exponentially over the years. Currently, the job adverts, they are related to metaverse and they are leaning more towards the builder and creator types, as the metaverse, it first needs to be developed. Now in the future, metaverse will also be introducing entirely new sci-fi careers such as metaverse stylist, metaverse tour guide, and even metaverse lawyers and advisors. Metanomics, which means economy in metaverse. The metaverse will usher usher in the digitalized economy where the transactions will be dealt in cryptocurrencies and non-fungible tokens. Plots of land in Decentraland have been sold for millions of dollars through Mana, a cryptocurrency used in Decentraland. Now, if there is an economy, there are bound to be regulations which will be a key development to watch out for in the metaverse. So regulations around copyright issues related to digital art, whether NFT can be included in the will, legality of marriage in the metaverse, and so on could crop up in the metaverse. In fact, a law firm even opened up virtual location within Decentraland, a first of its kind initiative. Adoption of metaverse. Today, the new generation is quite familiar with the virtual world, and thanks to gaming, which will help in the seamless adoption of metaverse. Now, going by the facts, Fortnite and Roblox, they rank first and second, signaling the value that younger generation places over the virtual worlds within gaming. Gen Y and Z, they are going to be the population that will drive the early adoption of the metaverse. Gen X, they ushered in the creation of the internet, and they will also be receptive to the shift to this new world. Now comes the most important part, metaverse from an investment point of view. Now, over the past century, every tech communication trend was met with understandable apprehension. For example, take the radio, take the internet, social media, TV, and now it's the metaverse. But this concept is just not in the air. It is for real. Slowly but surely, we are moving towards it. Companies that get into it will benefit over a long time. Today, if it's just 0.1% current revenue generation for digital companies through metaverse today, in the next 5 to 6 years, it's likely to be 10 to 15%. So for now, it is being said that it will take 10 years or so for the metaverse to fully develop. But as we've learned through the pandemic, the world can change in the blink of an eye, and it can be sooner than that. Now we have come to the end of the discussion. But remember, this is just the beginning of Metaverse. For more such interesting new age themes in the tech world, do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching the video.